I'm Dr. Kemi Olunloyo. I just finished a 1 hour TikTok and it was kind of rowdy. I don't really like TikTok. A lot of people there are not classy people, young people that are just useless people. Um, I don't do much on TikTok. I don't make money on TikTok. I'm not in a monetized country. I don't like the petty little gifts. I was there for an hour. I got like what, $5, $6, all that nonsense. Any case, I do it because a lot of you don't have data. Because if I go to YouTube, I'll make money, lots of it. However, it's the 5th of July, 2025, and it's 10:30 in Nigeria now. I'm looking at the time, and I'm looking at 10:30 Nigerian time. I'm going to do a proper video right now for VDM, because I saw VDM even come in that live. VDM, these interviews you're doing, okay, I'm sorry to say, but they're meaningless. A lot of things that Prime Boy said on your interview, he already said it on his live interview with me for 3 hours. And he has also said it forever on his own lives. It is clear that Prime Boy did not follow them home after the concert. He missed the ride. His bag was in their car. He called for his bag and Wumi told him not to come to the house. Second, he was left there at the concert venue with Cubana Chief Priest and Susu Berekon. Direct your interviews to the people that did the show. What I was trying to say on that live to you was that if you really study this case carefully, you'll notice that some people have not really reached out to the father of Mohbad. And I spoke about Susu Berekon and Cubana Chief Priest, who are the sponsors of the show. Their own brand, the General Bitters, was sold and sponsored the show. Now, to be on the safe side of things, I mean, maybe that's not the word, safe side. I mean, to be accurate, remember, I used to be a journalist at that time. I interviewed Mohbad's father on Instagram Live, and I distinctly asked him if Susu Berekon, Cubana Chief Priest, and other artists like Tiwa Savage has reached out to him for condolences. He said no, absolutely no. So direct your interview to those guys because they can give a proper timeline of things, okay? We already know that Wumi took Mohbad's life. For me, it was a manslaughter because they were fighting. He pushed her, she pushed him back, he hit the railing broke, and the sharp edge hit Mohbad's neck. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, we don't have causative law. I've put it to a lot of lawyers. Causative law is when somebody dies of a cause. In other words, Wumi and her Wikipedia admins and everybody trying to brand her, they have Mohbad's death due to an injection. And if the injection killed him and the drug killed him, secondary to what? That's causative. Causative law is secondary to a fight that turned deadly and caused that injury that they call the nurse for. What they want to do is to prosecute Ayobami. Is it the one they call Spending? They want to prosecute him and the nurse. He went to get the drugs on errands, and the nurse injected the drugs without supervision of a higher nurse. So they're going to find them guilty. They're going to find them guilty, sentence them to 2 to 3 years or a fine. And they'll pay the fine and the case will be gone. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do to Mohbad. That's what they want to do to Mohbad's father. And that's not justice. The causative factor means that Wumi will be arrested if she were in the U.S. But all these lawyers in Nigeria, okay, the Nigerian Bar Association is the second most corrupt in the world, okay, with the American Bar Association being number 1 and Brazil being number 3. Yeah, go look at those lists. They don't feel like doing anything. The big man at the top is in charge of this case. Okay, this case is not going anywhere. Wumi's mother is a top cop, retired or not. The connections with the big man is what's happening here. Kings are involved. 2 kings, 2 senators, lawmakers, everybody is giving her protection. They're shielding her for prosecution. And what did I say? Yabucho, rebranding her, putting her on TV shows. Arise, BBC, Today, TBC, all that. Yabo put her behind the cameras during Priscilla's wedding. She was the interviewer, interviewing Joma Jackson, some of the guests. Didn't you hear her voice? That's her. Her son being the ring bearer. Everybody's rebranding Wumi. But I said on that live that if it was Festus' wife that killed Festus, Yabo wouldn't be able to sleep one night. We'll see her hopping up and down the place. They will never see it happen to their own children, but they don't mind it happening to other people's children. Yabo was dating Paulo when Paulo booked Mohbad to a UK show, and Mohbad said, I don't want to go back to Nigeria. And Paulo said, I can't do that. You can't stay here on asylum. You came here on a certain visa and you go back on that visa. At the end of the day, it is what it is, VDM. You don't need to interview Paulo. You don't need to interview, people that have already been interviewed. Prime Boy has been interviewed by TVC before he turned himself in, interviewed by me and all that. Focus on 4 people. Message Zlatan and Bella Schmurder on what they know about the show that night. And of course, the video that they unleashed and all the other videos. They were the ones that unleashed all the videos, all the bullying videos. Why then? Why not before? If they decline an interview, go for the Adura and the Darusha. Those are the relatives of Mohbad. I came from a very bad family where my own siblings were just horrible. I knew what I went through. But this is what Mohbad was going through, but he never spotted it. Go and get Yomi Fabi's interview of when he did a press conference and Adura showed up impromptu and ended up speaking. Go and listen to what he said there. And then try to interview him and Darusha. There's a timeline of things. Where were they? Where were they between Perez Hospital and where Mohbad was buried and the first funeral? Where did they take him to? Where did they shave his head? Where did they buy the coffin? All those things you need to know. And then also, be careful because the media is watching you. They're watching what they should be doing. The police is watching what they should be doing. Remember your case with the Yabo, which is coming next week. I don't know how that will factor in. Okay? And I hope you win that. That should be an easy one. At the end of the day, next week is going to be so dramatic. And I'm not even going to be around to cover any of it because I'm going to be busy in Washington with the African leaders. Okay? President Trump invited 6 African leaders for summit, and I want to cover all that one on my blog on X. That's what I do now. So do your best, okay, and focus on the right people because they're starting to laugh at you. Some of the media houses, they're not worth it. They're nobodies. They're saying you're using it to create content, generate money, all that. Okay, you don't have anything to prove, but if you're going to prove them wrong, interview the right people, okay?